Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Terry Stiles alongside my co-anchor Jim Hughes. Hi, Jim.
Hey, Terry. Great to have you with us on this edition of Oxford News This Week. SUV and semi collide, Butterburger alert, and shop with a hero near you.
All that and more. The news begins right now. A number of late fees for Oxford Village water customers are receiving a waiver extension for April, May, and June due to the COVID-19. The extension is being approved through this year. The latest extension was approved by the Village Council at its virtual meeting this past week. According to Oxford Village Manager Joe Medor, there are about 100 delinquent accounts at this time. Also worthy of note, at the same meeting, the council also voted to opt into an emergency water assistance relief program under Michigan State Senate Bill 690. The program will provide $25 million in assistance for water and wastewater utilities to eligible households to retain water services as an essential public health method to prevent the spread of COVID-19. For more information and to find out if your home is eligible to receive assistance, visit the Oxford Village website at oxfordvillageofoxford.com. Jim?
In other news, there's still time to referring to the 2020 census. Of course, the U.S. Census Bureau will, however, end all counting for the 2020 calendar year on September 30. As of last week, Oxford's response to the 2020 census was 84%. As a reminder, if you haven't yet completed your census information, you can do that online real easy, my2020census.gov.org, or by calling 844-330-2020.
A scary scene unfolded in Oxford downtown recently, which would be on Gillespie, as a collision occurred between a gravel truck and an SUV. The collision took place when the driver of the gravel truck tried to make a right-hand turn onto Gillespie Street to reach Ray Road and then go to Lapeer Road. The SUV was unaware of the truck's intentions, and apparently he also tried to turn right at the same time, causing the collision. Thankfully, both drivers were uninjured, and surprisingly, both were able to drive away from the incident with minimal damage. It's worthy to note, in accordance to the police report, the truck was deemed at fault for the contact. However, neither party was issued a citation. So be safe out there. It's crowded, and we're almost done with it. Right, Jim?
Oh yeah, for sure. Christmas will be right around the corner before you know it, and some local families will be experiencing a much merrier Christmas this year due to the donation of $1,500 to the Village Police's Shop with a Hero Fund. This all became possible due to the Trail Council's unanimous vote as a thank you for the major financial boost it received earlier in the year. You ask how the funds got there? Well, they were gathered as a result of a creative idea from Police Chief Mike Sowald, who came up with a large space to store a massive amount of returnables donated by the public. The drive went so well that it netted nearly $26,000 for the trail. A good portion of the funds were put towards replacing a failed culvert beneath the trail near Green Shield Road, and the remaining $1,500 will be used to assist local youth in purchasing Christmas gifts for themselves and family members during the Shop with a Hero 7 event. We're looking forward to that. Well done, Chief Sowald, and well done, Oxford community, bringing those returnables. Terry?
More updates on the M24 construction has become available. It was recently announced this past week that the M24 traffic shift would not be taking place as scheduled. The shift will now be scheduled to start Thursday, August 27th. This change will involve M24's single southbound lane, which is between Burdick Street and just north of Drainer Road. The lanes will move from the west side of the road to the fresh paved east side of the road. That was the road of 24. This change allows crews to begin the 24 construction on the southbound lanes. The shift is scheduled to remain in effect until M24 is finished, which is projected for mid-November. Let's hope that's true. Jim?
Some fun news to report for the Oxford community. If you're a fan of mouth-watering Butterburger, who isn't, right? And a delicious frozen yogurt, you'll be pleased to hear the recent construction plans for the new culverts. I know my mom was quite pleased about that. In Oxford Township, those plans for construction are expected to take place next month. The goal for the franchisee is to be open sometime by the winter. That according to the owner of Andrew Zilke. Zilke, also owner of 2 other locations for culverts, stated approval to construct the nearly 4,000 square foot restaurant with a drive-through located just on the west side of M24. If that doesn't make your mouth water, I don't know what else will. Start collecting those coupons.
It's done it for me, that's for sure. Well, that's it for Oxford News this week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories and others, you can pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper or go to our Charter Spectrum channel, which is 191, and AT&T channel 99, or you can also find information on the Oxford Township Facebook page, or you can catch us on our website, which is occtv.org. Jim?
Thanks for watching Oxford News this week. Thanks to our producer, Terry Stiles, our director, of course, back in the back, Dan Weiss. And again, make sure to take care of yourselves and those around you. Wear your mask when you can, and take care. We'll see you next week on this edition of Oxford News This Week.
Welcome to Autotalk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from Automotive News. In our first story, drivers appreciate an extra set of eyes on the road. These are the findings of a new J.D. Power study that measures how effective automakers are in bringing advanced technologies to market in ways that consumers find intuitive and not overbearing. Vehicle owners are most enamored with cameras, according to the company's 2020 U.S. Tech Experience Index. Camera rear-view mirrors earned the highest score among luxury owners, followed by ground-view cameras. Among advanced camera vision technologies in mass market segment, camera rear-view mirrors received the highest overall execution score, followed by transparent trailer view and ground-view cameras. Nearly 3/4 of respondents who have these features said they definitely will want a camera rear-view mirror in their next vehicle. But luxury owners dislike gesture controls, which let occupants control various interior features using hand gestures instead of touching a knob or screen. Gesture controls were the lowest rated technologies by far, according to the report, experiencing 36 problems per 100 vehicles, more than twice the rate of the second most problematic technology. In our next story, Ford Motor Company is slashing prices on the 2021 Explorer crossover by more than $3,000 on certain trims and repackaging some content in a bid to bolster its front-runner status in the large crossover segment. The base Explorer will cost $33,470 for the 2021 model year, including shipping, a $540 decrease from the 2020 model, according to prices first reported by Ford Authority. The XLT will start at $35,244, a nearly $3,000 price cut. The Limited will start at $45,955, down more than $3,500 from the outgoing model. The Limited hybrid variant is more than $2,600 cheaper, starting at $51,100. Ford said the pricing changes reflect a reshuffling of content. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny.
Welcome in, everybody. This is OCTV Sports. My name is David Sisaski, and I'll be happy to update you weekly on all Oxford sports. We have some breaking news which recently came about after the latest meeting with the Michigan High School Athletic Association. The MHSAA Council authorized competition in volleyball, soccer, swimming, and diving where allowed. Also, off-season contact days for football and all spring sports. Important to note, however, these schools permitted to begin must be in regions authorized for that activity by Governor Gretchen Whitmer under the recent executive orders. Other plans will continue to unfold, including plans for the pending season for high school football, which recently was moved to this spring. For information on the latest rulings and updated plans, you can check out the MHSAA website at mhsaa.com. The Oxford varsity baseball team made recent headlines, this time for their excellence off the field. The ball club was honored with the Team Academic Excellence Award for the 2019-2020 season. The award was presented by the American Baseball of Coaches Association. The achievement was met by maintaining a cumulative GPA of 3.39. It's also worthy of note that Oxford High School is one of only 143 schools across the country and only one of 4 in the state of Michigan to receive the award. The award was also the first in program history. Way to go, Cats! In other news, the 25th season of girls golf is underway. Practice started up again this past week at the Metamora Golf and Country Club. All golfers present wore a mask and were moving through stations to have their temperatures checked while completing the COVID questionnaire. Head coach Gretchen Gabler spoke to girls about the importance of social distancing and gave an outline of what was expected during practices during this time. The practice ended with Coach Gabler reminding golfers that while this season may look different, what certainly will be the same is that they'll have a lot of fun being part of the team. That's it for sports this week. I'm David Siseski. Stay tuned for Dave Kenny with Auto Talk and Science in the News. Go Cats!
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. Razors may start sharp, but even though they only cut soft hair, they become dull surprisingly quickly. Now we know why blades that cut soft materials lose their edges so easily, which should help researchers design longer-lasting blades for knives and razors. We are all familiar with the problem with razor blades. You use them, they work for a short while, and then they are not so good anymore, says Sim Tassin at MIT. You have a blade made of steel, and then it touches human hair, which is obviously much softer material, but the blade somehow deforms. Tassin and his colleagues placed a device that used razor blades to cut hairs inside a scanning electron microscope to watch the process in extreme detail. They also analyzed the molecular makeup of the blades to try to figure out why soft materials like hairs or cheese can blunt razors and knives, even though the blades are much harder and stronger than the materials being cut. They found that the blades had tiny chips in their edges as a result of the process that hardens the steel. These minuscule cracks tended to occur at borders between areas of slightly different microscopic properties in the steel. When a razor blade cuts the hair, those cracks tended to widen with the severity of the cracking depending on the angle between the blade and the hair and whether the hair meets the blade at a point where one of the cracks lies. We expected that the failure of these materials should just be where you start with a sharp unit and as you use it, it becomes rounder, says Tassin. But that's not the case. The process of chipping is much faster. It is difficult to control the angle and position of the hair, so the best way to make longer lasting blades may be to create them in a way that minimizes the beginnings of these small cracks, maybe by using more uniform materials. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.